Hello everyone, how are you? Putin's partial mobilization for Ukraine war could be a disaster. Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu told President Vladimir Putin in a televised meeting on Friday that the partial mobilization of Russian troops is now complete, with hundreds of thousands of Russian reservists now recruited and in the process of being deployed to Ukraine. I will convey to you today's important developments, and I'll look into what might be on the map. If you want the war to end, I would appreciate it if you like the video and comment. Don't hold back your support and let's show our stance. Ukraine partial mobilization, a bad idea? In the meeting, Shoigu confirmed that Russia's biggest mobilization since the Second World War was now over, with more than a quarter of those recruited already deployed to the battlefield in Ukraine. The task set by you of mobilizing 300,000 people has been completed, Shoigu said. No further measures are planned. According to the Russian official, those who have not already been deployed to Ukraine are still undergoing training. In the same meeting, the Russian president thanked the soldiers headed to Ukraine for their dedication and patriotism and argued that their service will help defend Russia. Putin also appeared to acknowledge that mistakes were made in the early days of the recruitment process but claimed that all problems have since been resolved. The Russian president blamed the fact that Russia has not carried out such a huge mobilization in so long on the teething troubles. It's unclear what specific problems Putin was referring to, but war analysts from all over the world have recognized a number of very serious problems for the Russian military and the troops being deployed to Ukraine. Among them is the issue of training, something that some analysts have claimed is practically non-existent for many of the troops being rushed to the frontline. Is the training sufficient? In September, British intelligence suggested that many Russian troops sent to Ukraine had undergone only low-level initial training. To make matters worse, the intelligence also suggested that Russia was struggling to find military commanders to conduct the training given that so many had already been deployed to Ukraine and many died in combat. The lack of military trainers, and the haste with which Russia has started the mobilization, suggests that many of the drafted troops will deploy to the front line with minimal relevant preparation, an update from the British Ministry of Defence reads. Video footage also emerged this month which showed Russian troops on the front line complaining about the lack of food and training. No bullets, no grenades, no pouches, no food, no water, one soldier says in the video. It's AF*C King mess. Since the beginning of Russia's full-scale invasion, police officers have opened 40,494 criminal proceedings over the facts of crimes committed by Russia's military and their accomplices on the territory of Ukraine. According to Ukrinform, this was reported by the National Police Press Service. In particular, Ukrainian law enforcers registered 29,603 cases related to violations of the laws and customs of war, 8,895 encroachment on the territorial integrity and inviolability of Ukraine, 1,824 collaborative activities. In addition, 87 cases were instituted over high treason, 37 cases over sabotage, and 42 cases over the facts of sexual violence committed by Russia's military. Ukrainian law enforcers also registered 1,589 crimes committed by the Russian army against children. In particular, 360 children were killed and 785 more injured as a result of Russian aggression. As many as 444 children are considered missing, 3,099 more children have been illegally taken to the Russian Federation. In the territories liberated from the invaders, law enforcers found 34 places where citizens were illegally detained and tortured. Ukraine. Russian troops moved large numbers of sick and wounded comrades from hospitals in southern Ukraine's Kherson region, Ukrainian military officials reported Saturday, as their forces fought to retake a province overrun by invading soldiers early in the war. Kremlin installed authorities in the mostly Russian-occupied region previously urged civilians to leave the city of Kherson, the region's capital. The Moscow-appointed authorities in Kherson also were reported this week to have joined tens of thousands of residents who fled to other Russia-held areas ahead of an expected Ukrainian advance. The so-called evacuation of invaders from the temporarily occupied territory of the Kherson region, including from medical institutions, continues, Ukraine's military general staff said. All equipment and medicines are being removed from Kherson hospitals. The military's claims could not be independently verified. President Zelensky said in a nightly video address Friday that the Russians were dismantling the entire healthcare system at Kherson and other occupied areas. The occupiers have decided to close medical institutions in the cities, take away equipment, ambulances. Just everything, Mr. Zelensky said. They put pressure on the doctors who still remained in the occupied areas for them to move to the territory of Russia. Kherson is one of 4 regions of Ukraine that President Putin illegally annexed last month and where he subsequently declared martial law. The others are Donetsk, Luhansk, and Zaporizhia. Elsewhere on Saturday, at least 2 Russian ships suffered damage in a major port in Crimea, the Ukrainian peninsula annexed by Moscow in 2014. Ukraine and Russia offered different versions of what happened and who was to blame. The Russian Defense Ministry said 2 ships received minor damage during an alleged Ukrainian drone attack on Navy and civilian vessels docked in Sevastopol at 4:20 a.m. The city, Crimea's largest, hosts the headquarters of Russia's Black Sea Fleet. The ministry said 16 drones were used in the attack and that Russian forces had repelled them. Earlier Saturday, the Kremlin-installed governor of Sevastopol reported an ongoing drone attack. An advisor to Ukraine's Interior Ministry gave a conflicting account, claiming that careless handling of explosives had caused blasts on 4 warships in Russia's Black Sea Fleet. Anton Gerashenko wrote on Telegram that the vessels included a frigate, a landing ship and a ship that carried cruise missiles used in a deadly July attack on a western Ukrainian city. Neither side's claim could be immediately verified. As Kyiv's forces sought gains in the south, Russia kept up shelling and missile attacks in the country's east, Ukrainian authorities said Saturday. 3 civilians died in the last day and 8 more were wounded in the Donetsk region, which has again become a frontline hotspot as Russian soldiers try to capture the city of Bakhmut. Western analysts have long identified Bakhmut as an important target in Russia's stalled eastern offensive. Capturing Bakhmut would pave the way for Moscow's forces to threaten Sloviansk and Kramatorsk, the 2 largest Ukrainian-held cities remaining in the long-embattled Donbass region. Donetsk and neighboring Luhansk province make up the Donbass. Pro-Russia separatists have controlled parts of both provinces since 2014. In the northeastern Kharkiv region, where Russia's troops retreated last month and Ukrainian troops clawed back broad swaths of territory, Russian shelling overnight wounded 3 civilians, according to the region's Ukrainian governor. Governor Oleh Syniehubov wrote on Telegram said that 2 women in their 40s and a 60-year-old man were wounded near Kupiansk, a town that served as a resupply hub for Russian forces in the region before Ukrainian troops regained control. Thank you for listening. I will keep you informed of the hottest developments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.